Alright, I really didn't want to talk about this whole Silent Hill Ascension thing because, frankly, I don't really see any point. Like, what am I going to say that's different from what all of you are thinking and feeling? We're all on the same page here, right? We all think that what Konami and Genvid are doing here is completely tone deaf? Like, seriously, what pre-existing Silent Hill fan was this for? Who wanted this? I mean, okay, sure. We are all about experimentation in the gaming medium and doing new things, especially with a franchise like Silent Hill, one that has experimentation in its DNA. But you know what you don't do? You don't kick off the triumphant return of a franchise that has been dormant for almost a decade with an experiment that could easily go wrong in so many ways. And if you do, you better be willing to bet your bottom dollar that what you're presenting is something that everybody is going to at least like. Well, guess what? I watched Silent Hill Ascension, and without exaggeration, it makes the Silent Hill movies look like Oscar contenders. The entire time I was watching Silent Hill Ascension, the only thing I could think of was Tommy Wiseau's The Room. And no, I'm not just making that reference because it's generally understood as the worst film ever, and I'm just making a lazy comparison. No, I'm making a technical comparison here. If you watch that movie, the way the lines are delivered, how emotional extremes change from one line to the next, how you can't discern feeling from a person's face, it's the exact same thing with Ascension. How does somebody go from crying over a corpse to delivering their next line as if nothing happened?
Oh God, Mama. How did it... Papa? Did you?
And even if you had good acting here, the computer-generated characters would still render that effort null and void because there would be dissonance between the way the characters are looking and how they are acting.
She's dead.
Rachel?
No. Your sister.
No. Joy's fine. I just heard from her.
I'm so sorry. I am. I'm so sorry. I am.
And I don't want to hear from any of those blind apologists that the acting in the original Silent Hill games was bad. Yes, it was. But the difference here is context. I understand perfectly well that bad acting or hammy acting can increase feelings of disturbance in the audience. I understand that. I've watched a lot of David Lynch movies to know how well that can be done. And the original Silent Hill games did that very well. But the difference here is that alongside those badly acted scenes were long stretches of tension-filled gameplay. Gameplay! Where you're running around in the dark and at times, barely visible monsters come out of the fog or the darkness and try to mess you up. Then when the story is delivered to us, it is delivered in smaller chunks, and at the root of those scenes is a compelling mystery that compels the gamer to dive deeper. And even with Silent Hill 2 and 3, the acting and the face models were able to convey believable and understandable emotion despite the hamminess. Here, there is no gameplay. No tension, no dread, nothing compelling about the characters or their actors, nothing to separate the mystery of the Foundation cult from the cult of the Order, nothing. Okay, fine. The sound design is excellent. There, one thing positive. Good job. And the designs of the monsters are in keeping with tradition. But, seriously, what the hell is this? Who the hell thought this looked good? Looking at this makes me feel the same way Krusty the Clown did when he ran out of his medication for his bipolar disorder. Feelings of both peak amusement and bottomless despair happening simultaneously. And yes, there's the whole monetization thing, which, okay, look. It's a free series, right? I get that you have to make money somehow. But make the core content compelling so that I'm willing to engage with the community and then increase my engagement through microtransactions. Make the show scary. Make the mystery compelling. Make the narrative compelling. Make characters that get me invested. At the very least, make it good enough. so that I want to tune in every single day for the next 6 months. Then I might spend monies on stickers and whatever to support you. Anyway, I am really disappointed. Not only am I disappointed, I am really scared for the new Silent Hill games. In a world where brand recognition and intellectual property is king, Ascension is going to deal a massive blow to any potential success that Silent Hill's return could have had. Remember, guys, as much as we worship Silent Hill, remember that the franchise as a whole has only sold around 10 million copies, which sounds like a lot, but that's roughly the number of copies that a new Assassin's Creed game sells for every year. The first Silent Hill was the one that was the most successful. I think it sold around like 2 million copies. And then sales consistently dipped with each new release. I think the last 4 Silent Hill games, the Western ones, I think they sold like 400,000 copies each. So like 1.6 million in total. That's not sustainable in the modern game development ecosystem. Silent Hill is going toe-to-toe with the likes of Alan Wake 2, the Dead Space and Resident Evil 4 remakes, all of which are, at least to me, 9 out of 10 and 10 out of 10 games. And your response to these and other fantastic modern horror games? Your first thing out of the gate after 9 years is this? How the hell does this strengthen your brand? Do you not know your audience at all? Is there no quality control over at your backwards-ass company, Konami? Do you care at all about being a competitor? What am I saying? Of course they don't. They're the type of company who will release the Metal Gear Solid Master Collection, lock the resolution at 1080p, and hope we'll think that upping the resolution on those old games is technically impossible. But then a modder will come along and give us 4K capability 4 hours after the game's release. God, Konami, this should be so easy. Not the actual process of making games, that's obviously very difficult. I mean, the decisions surrounding them. If you're doing something Silent Hill related for the first time in a decade, the first thing you should do to announce your comeback, to show that you are ready to go toe-to-toe with the big boys, is give us a good game. Not this experimental where you have to pay to have more of a significant influence on the direction the story takes. Okay, anyways. Man, Silent Hill 2 Remake needs to be, at the very least, great. Not good. Great. If it isn't, it won't matter if Silent Hill Townfall and Silent Hill F are good. Why? Well, one bad product in a franchise means there's a significant chance that the next product will sell much less. If Silent Hill 2 Remake doesn't sell as well as Konami wants or isn't received as well, then I suspect that Konami might cancel Townfall and Silent Hill F outright. It very easily could happen, given how reactionary corporations are. Bloober Team, yeah, there are people who like their games, but there's a lot that don't, and I'm one of them. Granted, they did make Observer, which I think is one of the most underrated games of the last 10 years, but that's one game in a sea of mediocrity. So forgive me for being pessimistic about them making the Silent Hill 2 remake. Alright, you get the point. That's my rant. I'm going to go play Alan Wake 2 to assuage my sadness. Peace out.